Society is crushing. It often has the expectation that everyone will follow the same path, work to live and live to work. People accept it with terrifying ease. If you talk to anyone about how harsh and unfair life is, most will simply say, "Welcome to adulthood." The fact they don't even understand how messed up this lifestyle is worrying. It's no wonder then how many older people there are who are bitter or who have given up on their passions. They exist to fulfill the will of the machine. Against those who just go with the flow of society, there are those who realize how unnatural and inhumane modern life is and refuse to sell their souls. And among the fighters, you'll find a subgroup, those who wish to leave society and move to a peaceful and isolated place, untouched by human hands. The exact wish varies. It can be a cabin in the woods, a ranch, a house in the mountains, a hut on an island, or a quiet farm in Greece. But what everyone who dreams of that life wants deep down is to feel powerful again. People feel powerless in the city. They feel whatever they do, they're subject to the big dogs who rule over everything. As Nietzsche would say, purpose in life comes from expressing power. Not literal power like having a huge enterprise or conquering lands, but power of expression, and that to change your own life. It seems contradictory, but what we want when we dream of a peaceful and quiet life is also a form of trying to get a hold of this power. At least out in nature, we have the opportunity to directly influence our own life. The responsibility to always have food, water and warmth is a big one, but at least it feels accomplishable without the constant stank of society breathing down our necks. Society demands too many responsibilities for the modern person, responsibilities we never agreed to when we were born. It's already more than enough to have to worry about not dying. But on top of that, we have to manage taxes, a suffocating amount of laws, and social norms we wear like masks. How insane is the responsibility of being a good citizen really when we reflect on it? We never wished to be born, but now we're forced to serve the community, just so our fellow apes don't kick us out of the tribe. Society likes to say that such responsibilities are natural and that we have to obey these norms, because it's the only way to live in a society. But that's not true. The modern idea of societal obligations is only as old as the Industrial Revolution. The norms that existed before were completely different, to the point that the previous time can be seen as a completely separate world. At the core of this nonsense is the most basic of all principles on which modern society works: that you don't have a choice. If you don't want to pay taxes, you get thrown into jail. The options are: fulfill your citizen obligations and you get physical freedom, or don't, and your most basic needs get stolen from you. We were brought up with this idea, so people find it strange and delusional to think that a different system is possible, but it is. And the different societies from history and from today have proven it. The simplest option would be to have a way to leave organized society and move to a remote place where you wouldn't have any of these artificial societal responsibilities. In that case, the ancient Greeks had it figured out. If you didn't want to be part of organized society, the polis, you could just leave and go to unoccupied land. You'd have to defend yourself from wild animals and bandits, but my point is, you had a fair choice. But the ancient model doesn't work in every place on Earth anymore, because the map is full. Every territory on Earth has been claimed. Even if you want to live remotely, you still need your documentation and permission from the state. But even today, there's a way around it. In Mongolia, nomads exist who live among nature and do their life like their ancestors did. Except they also have internet. The introduction of internet in the Mongolian steppe has helped locals who live the ancient way from not being consumed by modern society. Finally, a group of gamers that telling them to touch some grass doesn't insult them. Still, we can't forget about those people who feel suffocated by modern life, but also like the security and comfort of the repetitive society. While people like Diogenes and Miyamoto Musashi do still exist today, the vast majority of people can't imagine surviving without a supermarket next door or without entertainment like cinema and pubs. The wish to escape to a cabin in the woods is a wish for more control of your future. So it's not always necessary to literally live in a remote cabin. Many believe more autonomy over life can only come from a change in society. They then sit idly in misery while waiting for politicians to give them what they want. Such change can't come from the corrupt and extremely slow way we deal with societal problems. If people want to have more power over their lives, it's actually very simple to do. Only by changing ourselves can we get to a peaceful, calm life. I'm going to leave you with 5 principles based on Taoism to achieve this. You don't need to read a grandiose book or anything fancy, but you do need time to really understand them. You might even feel that they don't resonate with you at first. In that case, you will need to reflect on them. That's the hard part. The first idea is radical acceptance. The world is out of our control, and there is nothing we can do to change it. It's a common idea that groups of people can move entire mountains, but this is completely wrong. With the amount of revolutions and protests we've had in history, you'd think the human world would be a better place. But it's the same. No great human-led movement will ever change the world or society. The second is spiritual isolation. Not caring might seem harsh, especially since you have so many stimuli nowadays telling you which new human issue you should care about, like activists or the news. But human minds weren't made to care 24/7. We get overwhelmed. This doesn't mean you don't care at all, but it does mean you are picky with what you care about. Third, radical detachment. Every new car, beautiful watch, piece of clothing, or the most detailed building will all meet the same fate: decay. Material things shouldn't be more than what they were made for. Food shouldn't be delicious. It should give the needed nutrients. Cars shouldn't feel good to drive. They should only bring you from one point to the other without complicated controls. Clothing shouldn't have cost you half your liver. They should only keep you warm and comfortable. Next is radical moderation. Similar to the last point, things that entertain us shouldn't take up massive amounts of our time. Shows shouldn't be binge-watched. Games shouldn't consume 12 hours of our day. And we shouldn't wallow in self-doubt and regret for too long. Finally, let go of the wish to control outcomes. This is a tricky one, because it may sound like you don't want to do good work anymore. For example, I can't control how this video is going to perform, so why should I bother to make a good video? There are many cinema quality videos out there that barely hit 100 views after all. This mindset is what leads people to disappointment, and it's a consequence of our ultra-utilitarist society. Not wanting to control doesn't mean you make slop of your art. It means that you make the best thing you can without worrying if people will like it. If then people like it, that's good. If they don't, it doesn't matter because you weren't doing things to please them anyway. By choosing to not try to control everything, you'll see you'll have more opportunities to control what is really within your power. The untrampled dirt road to the cabin in the woods starts under our feet and it leads to ourselves.